children learn as they play. Most importantly, in play, children learn how to learn. That was a quote from Alfred Donaldson, who is a play specialist, a researcher, and an author. He, together with many experts, believe that play has profound impact on childhood learning. Through research, there have been countless benefits gained by the children. As for me, I used to play a lot during my childhood. What did I play most of my afternoon? I played Indonesian traditional games like hide and seek, coklat, fortress, and hopscotch. I never got bored playing it. After in the afternoon, my mom knew exactly where to find me, in the field behind my house playing with my friends. Not until now did I realize playing those games did not only give us fun but also give us much to learn. When we play, we create bond among friends, learn to strategize, maintain concentration, and build the characters of determination and cooperation. Furthermore, it energizes us and kept our bodies in shape. However, I don't see many kids play traditional games anymore. These digital native kids prefer to spend their leisure time with their gadgets, playing games, chatting, taking selfies, you name it. With fascinating and always evolving features, gadgets have successfully stolen the kids' attention. Gadgets have gradually brought Indonesian traditional games to the verge of extinction. Needless to say, traditional game is one of the cultural heritage that cannot be separated from our nation, Indonesia. It has been played long before the gadget era and has carried mental, physical, moral, and social values instead. Well, with those remarkable benefits, Indonesian traditional games should be protected and instilled in the future generation. Therefore, as a concerned young generation, I propose some suggestions in preserving Indonesian traditional games by reintroducing, organizing Indonesian traditional games competition, and taking advantage of technology. The first and foremost, this cultural heritage can only be heritage when it is recognized, created, maintained, and transmitted by the communities, groups, or individuals. It should be reintroduced. It should involve all levels of community, starting from family, schools, and community. Family is where we can start it all. The adults can show the children how a certain Indonesian traditional game is played. But before that, the parents should provide the kids with traditional games that are not expensive at all and easy to find as well. When accompanying their kids to play, parents can insert some moral values like cooperation, patience, and so on. Schools can also take part in preserving Indonesian traditional games. In school curriculum, it is required to teach children about lifestyle physical activity to create a meaningful learning experience. It can be performed as games. Hence, it can be integrated in physical education subject as long as they align with the lesson goals. Take as an example, the objective of the study is that students learn jumping, hopping, stepping, balancing like in gymnastic lesson. To integrate it, the teacher can ask the student to play jumping rope. Students will learn why it is important, why jumping rope is a great form of exercise, and why it can be fun too. In addition, some extracurricular activities can also be involved in bringing this message. For example, school wall bulletin can be included in spreading the goodness of Indonesian traditional games. Not only it can present existence of Indonesian traditional games, but it can also bring memories to the whole faculty. Through community, Indonesian traditional games can also be preserved. These traditional games always presented every Independence Day, but that's not enough. It should be done routinely. That's why we need Indonesian traditional games community that will hold events like festivals or performance routinely. For example, Palembang government has taken this into account. Last year, they held Indonesian Traditional Games Festival for the first time, and we hope they will be held in years to come. All schools participated in this event. As reported in a local newspaper, teachers and students said that it revived and reminisced to the childhood games. Moving on, the second way to preserve Indonesian traditional games is to organize Indonesian Traditional Games Competition. The organizers can make use of certain moments like Indonesian Children's Day. And in order to win the competition, participants should take it seriously by practicing a lot and be familiar with the rules of the game. Last but not least, third way to preserve Indonesian traditional games is to take advantage of technology. It prevents us from many conveniences, especially with the current development of globalization. However, the idea of preserving these games are challenging because kids are no digital age. But why don't we take advantage of it and bring the games to the cyber world? Social media, where most people are on nowadays, can also be preserved Indonesian traditional games. They can be shared through pictures. We'll be amazed how this digital native can turn raw pictures into creative digital art such as video. By that means, showing how incredible our traditional games can be delivered well to all generations. How about the kids who are addicted to online games? Do you know that a famous online game called Pro Evolution Soccer was actually inspired by a real-life game? Well, why don't we apply this to Indonesian traditional games as well? There have been several Indonesian traditional game-based online games created by game developers. For example, Master of Gundu. It is adopted by a real marble game. Each point will be accumulated on Google Play, enhancing their experience and making their shots become more well-aimed. The interesting thing is that it is included with precaution. You'll play marble like you play it on the street, making the kids curious to play it in real life too. All in all, preserving Indonesian traditional games is not an impossible thing to do. With the involvement of each individuals, communities, education practitioners, and stakeholders, in this case game developers, traditional games can be passed down through years from one generation to the next. It is hoped that by doing this way, Indonesian traditional games will be preserved and we will be reminded not to turn our face away from the effort of preserving Indonesian traditional games, because traditional games is also part of our cultural heritage, Republic of Indonesia. My name is Zeriyatina Tri Belinda. Thank you very much for your gracious attention and have a nice day.